Good evening. This is Chaim Yitzchak Michael Halevi Kopel Harry Gersh Zeitz. Minus a few that aren't legal anymore. So, I've been at work. I've been putting myself to pretty hefty work there. I have written about technically seven. I have written 7 papers for a theoretical physics program. And I'm still waiting on Foundations of Physics, the journal, to respond to my journal submission, or my paper submission, my manuscript, excuse my French, submission. And it's, today's Sunday. This Tuesday will be four whole weeks since they've responded. Now, I'm really hoping that means good news, because usually, at least by now, there would have been at least one editorial pass by now, at the very least. I know there's not just like one editorial pass, there's like a hierarchy of editors that it goes through before it's submitted, before it's given to the proper editor, who then decides move forward to peer review or reject. I just want to interrupt. You see how beautiful that scenery is? Oh, it's beautiful, right? Alright, so I'm going to go that way because I'll get to maximize my time of watching the sunset without getting hit. You know, people like to run me over here. Yeah. You know, he wasn't really that bad, but like you can hear him speed up. I think I'm not being delusional here, right? Maybe the problem is that they just don't have sidewalks, so that could be it. Cause like that guy just now, like, you know, like it took him like about a good 5 seconds. I counted. I didn't really count, but pretty much counted. It took him 5 seconds to realize I was in front, like in his pathway, and then it's like, oh shit, I'm about to hit that guy. And then within like, you could hear, I'm sure whoever's watching this could have heard, that, I mean, he did it in time, but like, come on, 5 seconds to finally see me. Other people really had to move out of the way. So I think it's a combination of things. 1, there are no fucking sidewalks. 2, people there's a lot going on lately. I know, globally. There's a global thing going on, so people are not what they were 10 years ago. I get it. All right. With that said, about my theoretical physics program. So as I mentioned, 4 weeks ago, this coming Tuesday, it'll be exactly 4. Like the amount of people who are watching right now. 4 people. 4. Oh, well, now 3. 1 went away. All right. I get. Anyways, so my point is that 4 weeks ago, about this coming Tuesday, it'll be 4 weeks, I submitted my paper to Foundations of Physics. Now, if it was shit, it would have been rejected by now. So, like I said, there are multiple editorial stages it goes through before it's given to the proper editor who can deal with such a subject, right? So, the fact that it's about to be 4 weeks this coming Tuesday since I've submitted my journal, or my paper, my manuscript, my theoretical physics paper, I'm thinking what that means is that at the very least, the first editorial stage, it passed, right? Like, they said, okay, this is something. But let me now go and find someone who specializes in something like this. Now, this is the interesting part. My what I wrote is so specialized that, like, it's basically, and this will bring me to memory curvature versus, or memory gravity versus quantized gravity, and also the editor of the paper. It's going to all come together, hopefully, in a nice package by the end of this live stream. But yeah, so uh, memory curvature versus quantized gravity, right? That's my spiel. And anyways, so yeah, I submitted it. The editor, or the chief editor of Foundations of Physics, is the guy that, the main guy who came up with with relational quantum mechanics, and subsequently loop quantum gravity. All right, so he's the editor of that. So that hopefully that paints some context. So back to the actual timeline here. So it's been, yeah, this Tuesday it'll be 4 weeks, and at this point, it had to have gone at least through the first cycle, through at least one editor, meaning like they must have said this is interesting enough to move forward. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm in the peer review process. That is where the real scrutiny will play out as to whether or not my theory holds up in the court of physics. So, yeah. So, if it does, and let's say, so the editor, whoever's the final editor, says, you know what, fuck it, let's send this shit to peer review. So then that takes about a couple months, to my understanding. And they have to find like the appropriate people to try to tear it apart. So they're gonna like try, especially. Oh, so that's what I was trying to get at. It's a very specialized thing because it's basically, my theory is is very much synthesized of all the best parts of many other theories, right? So what I mean by that is this: is that right now many theories are in competition with one another, right? There's loop quantum gravity, which is in competition with string theory, right? And there's emergent gravity. There's holographic. Basically the holographic concept, or holographic universe. There we go. There's all these different things, right? But a lot of them, because this is my belief. I believe that because they are institutional thinkers, right? Money is what really guides them, whereas with me, I'm homeless now. So, with them, I believe that they are kind of like bounded within a system that prevents them from being comfortable with pushing some boundaries. And with that said, what my theory does is it doesn't say that any of these other theories are wrong. No. In fact, it actually takes the best parts of them and actually ties them together where there can now be like a multi-level experimental whole type of reality that we live in, where everything now is working together in unison. And so now, obviously, certain things are inconsistent, and my theory kind of smoothens those out in the sense that it says like, hey, you can quantize gravity if you want. It's not necessary. It's not fundamental. It's just something that helps to make it easier, but there's an there's an equivalent explanation. And that is where memory curvature comes in. And it is built as the mechanism behind my interface structure. in which is vital to relational quantum mechanics, because right now they have a problem that are having a hard time in solving in regards to basically like what allows facts to be accessed later on, at future dates. There, my interface structure is that perfect little piece in between all the relational physical theories, and it even also connects emergent gravity. It connects the holographic universe ideas. I mean, I will be honest. I think you can even play with it with string theory and all of the many worlds and all the and all the multiverses, all the ideas within that realm as well, and all the subclasses within each of the hierarchy or sub hierarchies, whatever. Right? There's a lot that I think this can connect to, that this will help solve in other theories. So, if others agree, meaning if this first of many papers gets submitted, if it gets submitted, I did submit it, when I meant to say accepted. If my paper gets accepted, meaning it's gone through the scrutinous, tedious process of peer review, then, and after such a process, it comes out unscathed, or at least revisable. If it comes out on the other end where it's going to be published, then there's something to this. Then this is a direction to take serious. So that's where I'm at. And I have about a little bit less than 2 months, I'd say, until time runs out, and before I have no money left. I have no home right now. I have shelter at an Airbnb, but it's not a home, There is a difference. I was a real estate agent at one point. I know that there is a difference between a home and shelter. And I'm also very good with the English language. That's actually kind of how I was able to write such a theory, because I've studied it, and it was really because of my paramedic days. If it wasn't for going to paramedic school, I don't think I would have understood language as much as I do now. So that allowed me to basically understand the universe better. I have the words to interact, to understand it with, and to be creative, and to try to solve things with. So now I do want to draw this down to a conclusion, with why I'm presenting memory curvature, and why you don't inherently need to quantize gravity but putting aside the other, the problems that comes from it, the main thing is that the source already, or you could say the particle, the very thing that geometry that dances with, you can say that dances with geometry, the source, that very thing, if you look at it like this, let's say I had two particles, right? And you say particle A, particle B, you have a metric, and you say, using this metric, the distance between point A and point B is this, based on the metric, right? Simple enough to understand. But let's say you take away one of those particles, or let's say you take away both particles. Either way, distance ceases to have meaning, right? So geometry is only as meaningful as the source, as particles, as things in which can establish events, or or other types of relations like distance, or speed, things of that nature. So, um, yeah. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to say there is a sidewalk here, so this part is safer. Where I was, that's where it's easy to get hit. Okay, so anyways, back to the subject here. Um, so, yeah. So without source, without the particles, distance, space time would have no meaning. You need the sources or source, whatever. You need something to have to give reference. So otherwise it means nothing. It's all the same. So with that said, to try to quantize space, while it may be a good measuring tool, a good mathematical tool to understand things better, it doesn't necessarily make space-time inherently quantized, discrete, meaning quantities or parts, so yeah, so while we use geometry to understand the relationship of things, like me between this pole, or me and the moon. Can you see the moon? Me, the moon. All right, so with that said, there's a relationship there. We're measuring relationships. And while it's helpful, or some people call it a cheat, like in a video game, oh, that's a cheat code. Some have actually argued that in so many words, maybe not exactly in those words, but it's the same thing. I like to think of it as a unique tool to help you understand things. Is it the only explanation in town? No. Like I said, I came up with memory curvature. Well, technically, I've synthesized a unique version of it that does have historical grounding, meaning it's not bullshit. It didn't just come out of thin air. Other people have had similar thoughts in the past. However, they've had particulates. So one theory had this, another theory had this, another theory had that, another theory had this, and I inadvertently stumbled upon stumbled to similar conclusions in parts, meaning emergent gravity has a part that can be found in my theory, but not the entire thing, a part of it. The most accurate and measurable parts. Loop quantum gravity, same thing. All these other theories, I happen to inadvertently come to these conclusions that, while it is not found in any one theory, much of my theory can be found in different theories. So not one theory is like mine. It's just that hey, a little a kernel is found in here, and that helps to actually verify my work. That actually really fucking is good, because it means that I'm not just making shit up out of thin air. There's actually something to this, and this other paper can verify it. So when you take Oppenheim's and Mashhoon, actually that's what I'm working on right now. Is they have pieces of this new grand theory that I'm working on, and while one theory I'm noticing wow, holy shit, that's a lot like mine, but another theory, which is not the same theory as this other theory, is also a lot like mine. And so right now I am trying to develop a memory curvature model, and essentially you can call it like a memory kernel. And this memory kernel is the key, literally, to connecting all the other theories together. So I have all the parts right now to make this key, to code this key, called HDIF, Horizons as Dynamical Interface Framework. And if others in the scientific community see what I see and accept it and can't find any holes in it, then it gets submitted. Then it gets accepted, gets published, and bam, now I have 6 other papers to submit. However, the last one right now is which is the complete theorem. That one is still in the works. The other ones I'm just like kind of like fine-tuning right now, adding citations and shit, and just making sure it's publishable. But yeah, so once I'm able to submit all 6 papers, I will have a program of interface structures through a program based around interface structures in which gravity can be measured, not just instant. It's saying that gravity isn't just instantaneous. Gravity has memory, and this memory is dancing with the memory of the source. So it's like this feedback, this recursive thing going on between geometry, what you can call the configuration space in this case, and source. So the evolution, this evolutionary dance between source and configuration space. So when source evolves, the configuration space evolves equivalently. And with that said, if this can get established, I might be able to work with the people who are behind loop quantum gravity, and be able to stay alive longer and not be homeless, hopefully. So if Carlo Rovelli, the guy who is the chief editor of Foundation of Physics, the journal that I submitted to, if it gets to his desk, imagine what that means for me. It means that someone sees my value in existing, and I get to stay alive just a little bit longer. To life! L'chaim! That's me. I don't want to die. But that's the reality I'm facing, unless someone can see the value that I see in my work. So I guess it's probably a good idea. I don't do it enough. I know I should. People say I should have the confidence to, so I should at least try to put myself out there and say, I do have a website with all of my current work on there. It's called, you don't have to even know the whole address. You can just go on Google, type in the letters H as in Harry, D as in David, I as in Igloo, F as in Frank, HDIF, HDIF. Or you can even type in my name, Chaim Zeitz, CHAIM as in motor, last name Zeitz, Z as in zebra, EI, T as in Tom, Z as in zebra. And you can Google me, and you'll find my HDIF Nexus website. It'll say something like The website will be like Chaim Z at wixsite.com/HDiff hyphen Nexus. N as in Nancy, E, X as in X-ray, U as in universe, S as in Sam. If you can't remember that, hopefully you remember HDiff, HDIF, like, you know, instead of like, like H, that's another thing you can connect it to, so it connects with memory. Memory. It's my thing, my spiel. What's that thing called? What's a venereal disease called? There's a venereal disease called, not something diff. Well, just, if you think of like there's several diseases that sound like H. diff, but like C. diff. Oh, there we go. There is a disease. I was a paramedic, remember? And also a doctor's extra pair of eyes as a medical coder and reviewer. C. diff. I believe, if my memory serves me correctly, then what that means is, I hope this is the right street. What was I talking about? Damn. This is also, I happen to be a stoner as well. Let's see. Okay, memory. We were talking about memory. It's kind of ironic, since it's kind of about what this video is about. Oh, look at the moon. All right. So, memory. Let's see. Maybe someone can help me. I'll look in the conversation section. Said hi. What are you doing? Said hi. I have said hi. Hi. I don't know if you're still here, but hi. Oh, I can wave at you. Wave. No, I was trying to wave. How do you wave back? I don't know. Well, anyways, I'm gonna try to remember on my own then, without the chat. All right, so let's see. Oh yeah, memory. Oh yeah. C. diff. There we go. Damn. Okay, C. diff. Wow. See what I said? C. diff. But instead of the thinking of the venereal disease, it's H. diff. You know, theoretical physics. You know, not a venereal disease. So that's how you can remember it. You just go to Google. Don't type in C. diff, because then you'll get probably very nasty pictures of some nasty looking sexually transmitted disease. So I mean, if you want to do that, if that's your spiel, you can do that. That's totally fine by me. But my point is that if you're interested in my work and in not getting a venereal disease, but learning, like, you know, science, and also in supporting me and making sure I can continue to do my work and staying alive and helping to change the world one science paper at a time, please help me out. You can do so by visiting Chaim, Chaim as in motor, Z at wixsite.com/HDiff hyphen Nexus, or you can type in Chaim Zeitz, CHAIM, last name ZEITZ as in zebra, into Google. You'll find HDiff, this website. If you scroll below to the bottom, it'll have a button that says support this work. It'll take you to a GoFundMe, and if you're able to and willing to, I would really appreciate it if you can help me out to continue my science work. And any amount would be appreciated. And if you can't, at the very least, I hope you enjoy my work and find interest in it. And if you go far enough down the rabbit hole, you will see a button that will take you down the rabbit hole to the Rabbit Hole Express. And the Rabbit Hole Express, whole other universe. And my point being is, if you have nothing better to do and you want to enjoy some science and some storytelling and a bunch of other stuff, you're welcome to visit HDiff Nexus and even jump down the rabbit hole and ride the Rabbit Hole Express at the Rabbit Hole Express. And I have a free science fiction book called The Time Ripper, Messiah of the Underworld. That's free. I have a psychedelic autobiographical adventure called The Way to Ure Down the Rabbit Hole. That's also free. I also have a movie script called Mensch. It's about a Jewish pothead superhero. I actually wrote that, I started writing that in 2007, finished it in 2013, but it's on the website now 10 years later or so. And yeah, and then many other things. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is, at the very least, if you're not able to support me financially, no worries. At the very least, I hope you enjoy the content. And with that said, this has been Chaim Yitzchak Mechayo Halevi Kopel Gersh Zeitz, minus a few that aren't legal anymore. And yeah, I hope everyone has a marvelous night. I hope that you have good dreams tonight. And if you don't, at least have good farts tonight. All right. That's it. Peace out. Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Oh, look at that. Well, the moon. Well, okay, it's now hiding, but there was a beautiful aspect to the distance. The ratio between me, the tree, and the moon. Geometry, baby. The study of relationships, which I'm horrible at. Bye.